Hi, gang. It's me, Holly. I've never done a Facebook Live before. I just wanted to share that we all have political opinions, and it's so important that each of us feels the freedom to share those opinions. I have never, not once, blocked or unfriended anybody because of their political views, religious views, their race, their gender, their sexual preference, how they identify. I have people from all walks of life as Facebook friends, and I treasure every one of them. I have a lot of real-world friends who I differ with tremendously in a lot of ways. And we have a blast together. They have their reasons, their sincere reasons for believing what they believe. And they acknowledge that I do as well. And we still have a good time, and we still respect each other. We still enjoy each other. But since I've become very vocal about the Kavanaugh nomination, particularly in the last week since the hearings, up to the days up to the hearings, and actually I didn't post anything all weekend because I just wanted to think about what I had watched. I watched the whole thing, and I wanted to pray about it. And I just wanted to kind of let it sit. And I think I posted something again yesterday morning. And I've posted several things since then. I have had one person tell me, a liberal friend who I adore, known him a long time, tell me he was blocking me for the rest of this week. I have another friend who told me that I'm wasting my time and that no one's listening to me. From a friend who I treasure as well. I don't think it needs to be that way. As many of you know, I used to be extremely liberal, and I was a well-read liberal. I went to Knox College. 99.5% of the material that I read in those 4 years was from a liberal viewpoint. There was a required class that we had to take as freshmen called freshman preceptorial, and I believe it was within the first week or two that we were reading Marx and Engel. And these ideas were not only promoted at Knox, but they weren't countered with the other side. I had grown up in a conservative family. The first time I voted for Reagan. When I left Knox College, I had totally switched to the left side and voted for Clinton both times. And then I got a job at Walden Books. And you could borrow books. If you worked there, you could borrow books to take home overnight. Well, longer than that, but you had to bring them back each day so they could sell, but you could take them home again. Anyway, and I came across a book by Dennis Prager called, I think it was called Think Another Way. And I read the back and I thought, okay, this guy's a conservative. And I thought, you know, if I'm really going to make an intellectually honest presentation of my left/liberal views, I need to understand the other side. Nobody's taught me the other side. There weren't a lot of political conversations in my home growing up, and so I didn't have the intellectual honesty to be the conservative that I was when I first voted, and then when I switched to the left side, I couldn't defend that position, and I very much wanted to, but I couldn't defend it because I didn't know what the other arguments were. And that book really opened my eyes, and I started reading other viewpoints. Thomas Sowell, huge impact on me. David Horowitz. There's actually, in my Facebook, there's a note that I wrote called My Political Journey in a Nutshell, and you can see all the conservative authors that I started to read. And those ideas and those arguments, to my alarm, made sense to me. And I saw, when those books spoke of liberal indoctrination in higher education, I saw what had, I don't want to say been done to me at Knox, but what I experienced at Knox. And by the time I became 32, maybe, I think I spent about 10 years as a solid, I was extremely, extremely left-wing, except the only leftist idea that I did not agree with was abortion. Never have, never will. I believe it is murdering an innocent human being, an innocent, helpless, vulnerable human being. And I pray that someday we will look back in our history and see that it is like slavery. Well, gosh, they didn't think blacks were humans, so, what's the problem? Well, that mass of cells in your uterus, that's not a human, so what's the problem? Well, my argument for that is, if you don't believe it's a human, then why is it necessary to abort it? You're aborting it because it's a baby, and you don't want to be inconvenienced, and you don't want to be patient and give that child a chance with a loving family. Anyway, the point of my video here is I am allowed to express my opinions, and if you don't like them, block me, unfriend me. If you're going to say disparaging things, because I don't need that negativeness in my psyche. Yeah, it hurts my feelings, because I feel like people who are getting disgusted with me are defining me by one thing: my political views. And I try, I'm sure I fail, I know I fail, to not determine a person's worth based on anything but their character. Just their character. So I'm calling for civility and friendship and respect. And I'd like to know your thoughts. I was told nobody's listening. I would like to know if that's true. And that's why I'm doing this video. Thanks.